was kind of struggling. I was struggling when I came up with Thru It All.
As I was watching it back, I said, I made Thru It All. I didn't make it, I just decided to act on an idea that came to me from somewhere else. So that was it.
And everything that I wanted it to be. At first it was a podcast. I had guests on, and my whole goal was to just find the answers to the questions that I had. Why am I feeling this way? Why do I have to get anxious? Why do I gotta be frustrated? Why can't all this stuff work out? Why am I struggling? And so I did that. And that kind of put me on the path to just forming it into Thru It All, because I wanted something more than a podcast. It really served its purpose, but it was time to move on. And so that's what got me into the clothes as an expression of what it is. But what is Thru It All really? And I think there's a misconception in the sense that, oh, through it all, I've been through it all because I've made Thru It All. And that's absolutely not the truth. I don't think Thru It All is a place that like you stand on top of. I feel it's something that has allowed you to get here. And then tomorrow you're still through it all. And then the next day you're still through it all. Like I don't feel like I'll ever be through it all. It's something that you always keep going to. You always, it's a place you try to chase, but you know you'll never get there. But through it all, I'm here. So it's not always the best day. I think it's appreciating the low times and the times where you feel like, why is it going this way when I expected it to go a different way? It's rocking with the ebbs and the flows, and how do I navigate the lowest times? How do I change my behaviors to become who I want to be? How do I forgive myself for the judgments I have? How do I keep going when everyone else is telling me to stop? Me as in the general me, not just myself. How do I appreciate today? Because I know it can be taken away just like that. I think there's a lot of, I think Thru It All just means like learning. Always trying to reframe situations to understand that what is this trying to teach me? And also at the same time knowing that you're not gonna be perfect. You're gonna mess up. You're not gonna reframe properly. And maybe everything you thought you believed wasn't the best thing for you after all. Maybe it takes 2.5 years for you to get to where you wanted to go. I don't feel like I ever felt like a true college basketball player until 2.5 years in. First year, 30 minutes. My second year, 59 minutes. Mine, showing up to every practice. For 90% of the practices, it was like I am there and I'm competing. There was a stretch where I just checked out because I was like, you know what, this is done. I'm really about to quit. To me, Thru It All is finding joy.
Yeah!
In situations that may not always seem super joyous. Creating your own joy. Trusting the path that you're on. Forgiving yourself. Adjusting, changing your behaviors, changing your habits. Becoming clear with what you really want. Speaking it into the world and believing it when I speak it. Changing the way I speak. Trusting more. For me, the pattern that really got me to play college basketball and to start what is now Thru It All is every time I'd shoot, like in games, if I missed the first 3 or 4 shots, it was just like, that was the worst thing ever on a basketball court that could happen. Worst possible scenario. Either that or I throw like multiple turnovers in a row. That's the worst thing that can happen. And so that pattern just has, I've allowed it to hold so much weight in my own head. Now it's a different story. But in my younger years, it was like this thing just, it owned me. And at the end of the day, I knew they weren't really true, but I still chose them. So maybe Thru It All is choosing a different route. choosing a different route. And even if you messed up or didn't do, if I knew what I knew now, maybe I wouldn't have acted the way I did earlier. But how can I forgive myself for judging that part of me and appreciating it for what it's led me to, instead of just relentlessly beating myself up? Reframing. And to me, that's what Thru It All is. But I think the most important part is that it means something to everyone else. It might be based off the same principles. Everyone might see the mountain or the river flowing through it or the path as the logo, but what it actually means to you is unique. So that's Thru It All.
Oh my gosh, I'm getting scammed.
I'm heavily debating jumping in.